Hello and welcome back. We're in the middle of a new week and we're on day 18 of this quarantine, quasi quarantine, quasi teen. And there's been a lot of nothing, a lot of inconvenience, a lot of tension. The media ramps it up. It's because it's what we've shown them we like, I guess. It ramps it up and says that, you know, it scares us. And this is a scary topic and it's scary times, but we don't need to be scared. We don't need to act out of fear. The toilet paper, all that weirdness, that needs to stop. I don't know why I'm wearing my head so weird today. That needs to stop. The on the subject of hats, I've wondered if you can't go out, and I understand close contact with some things like cosmetic dentistry and stuff like that. It's too risky at this time. I get that. But if you can't go out to the barber or the beautician or whatever, and I know nothing about this firsthand, nothing, but how are these people on TV still looking so good? They're not looking raggedy at all. Uh, they're just not. The nightly newscasters, they're still getting their hair done somewhere, and it doesn't look like a flow bee to me. Uh, but I digress. Let me digress one more time. I'll digress several times, actually. I hear the traffic reporters talking about traffic is normal, blah, blah, blah. They're still acting like there's something to do with reporting the traffic. The roads are virtually empty. This is like the weather forecast in Maui. It's cake. It doesn't need to be done almost. Um, the uh, the statistics. I looked over data. And here's what we have in this area. The top three counties uh, that have been hit. They've all. I looked at census data. I looked at proportions. What I know, and I've talked to people. I'm in a unique position of knowing people who are on the ground in medical emergency services. A different mix aside from what I do. And what's what's happening is that this is affecting vulnerable people, like anything would. People that are subjected to it or diminished in some way are going to get impacted. What's interesting, though, is that two of the top three are impacted, and it's the same percentage of their population. So if you have, a population of 10 and one is affected, it's 10% of your population. If you have a population of 100 and 10 are affected, it's 1% of your, and 10 are affected, it's 1% of the population. On the news, that looks like 10 times as many are affected. Yes, but based on the percentage and the statistics, it's the same. So long as those things stay similar, then it's not getting too odd. What's getting odd though is that in the third highest affected county, uh, it has more per population than the other top two, but it has a higher recovery rate. So they need to start looking at these statistics and looking at what's in the well water or whatever, or what practices they're taking. Look at the data, follow the data. The data will lead you to truth and facts. More importantly, facts. Um, Look at the data and see where it leads you. And you can scratch your face. You can touch your face as long as your hands are clean and you clean them before touching someone else, which you're not supposed to do. And I think that should be a mandated rule that should be locked down henceforth. There are many henceforth rules I agree with based on this. And this social distancing, as they call it now, I'm all for it. Keep it going forever. Um, and let's see, uh, the scam part of it. The fake news is starting to come out. They said that there was an arrest. I see people who post, some people jump on what they want to see. That there was a scientist arrested up in uh, the New England states from a reputable school who sold this virus to the Chinese. That's not true. He was arrested for something else, and it's not related to this. They don't know how this virus got anywhere. If anybody did anything malicious, or it's just bad nature or sloppy science or whatever. So don't be scared by that stuff. The virus can't. One of the things that's driving me nuts is you see people flick cigarette butt out of the car. I think if you're going to smoke, you have the responsibility for your litter in your car. If you're going to do whatever, it stays with you. These same people are flicking gloves and masks out of cars. That's potential biohazards under any circumstances. Don't do that. That's just extra nasty. You're putting people at risk on top of your littering. We're not your mother. It's not our job to clean up after you. Pick up your crap. Masking in general. The World Health Organization has said, don't worry so much about it, because it's not a silver bullet. It's giving us the false hope that it is a silver bullet. It isn't. It isn't. It doesn't stop things on its own. The cotton mask, they help. They're like morale medal on a gun during World War II. They help us feel better, and they do contain some spread. But in the same way, we're saying, contain the spread, blah, 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 blah. But we got to go green and not use paper towels in the bathroom and have the world's loudest hand dryers that blow whatever all over the bathroom. So we're contradicting ourselves. There is no magic bullet yet. Science will provide something eventually. But until then, we've got to do what's best and best practices. And that's basic hygiene. It's your basic nasty bathroom rules. There's people are misreading as far as the scam and the fake news. People are seeing stuff and saying they're closing down testing centers. And they are. They're closing down testing centers. They're saying they're empty hospitals. They're empty beds. Well, those are shelters that are set up if the pot boils over. These are the steps that happen in disasters, and part of this should have been mitigated prior. It shouldn't have gotten this far in that. Well, I think there were warnings that, not this in particular, but we need to be ready for this kind of thing, because there's always the next train coming down the track, and we get comfy after each one, and we got to stop doing that. That's one thing you learn in emergency services, in particular disaster services. But they've, this thing is big. This thing is big. We actually have a situation where we have churches and casinos that are closed. We've got, God and greed on the same page. We've got people starting to get along. There should be something that comes out of this where, if you want to help, and people keep saying they want to help, here's how you help. You stop the train. You just stop everything. You put a moratorium on late fees, evictions, or whatever, for a length of time equal to the time that this thing goes on. And you make it so you've made it so people cannot work. You've shut them down. You've got it. You can't have their houses getting taken. You can't have their property getting taken. They weren't deadbeats. They wanted to pay the bills. You remove their ability to do it. So you have to provide for them. And I'm not saying if you're a billionaire, we're providing for you, because you've got means. And it'll be a little bit of a hardship. But we're talking about people that are going to lose everything. We need to take that stress. We need to stop creating that desperation, because crime is starting to rear its ugly head again. Desperation will push people. Bad people are already pushed. Good people will get pushed. And we don't want to see that happen. So how about no late fees and a mandated period of time where things are put on hold, and the banks will survive. Money is a construct. I mean, look at this, the payout they're supposed to be giving us. They just printed more money. It just came out of nowhere. We were broke, and all of a sudden we've got $1 trillion to loan. So don't take these things being closed down and everything is a bad sign, good sign, or whatever. It's just part of the process. It's part of the process. Pick up your stuff. Be good to each other. Pay attention and get to know your family. And come up with a system, as we saw my friend Donald had, where you swap off with your significant other, and you go take a walk, and they go take a walk, and you take a walk with the kids, but you spread it out. You don't want to get stuck in it totally all the time, because if you do, you'll end up in a bad situation. You need to know when enough is enough and walk and distance yourself. You need even social distances within your intimate circles. So take care, and been good talking to you. And I'll talk to you again soon. And stay safe, and don't forget your gloves. And because gloves on the shopping cart are always a good idea, I think shopping carts are nasty. And we'll see you soon. Bye bye.